All right, now we're going to talk about installing the Microsoft Desktop infrastructure. The first thing you're going to do in the Server Manager is using, surprise, surprise, the Add Roles and Features wizard. The difference is we're going to choose a different option. Instead of, and actually let me go over to the next one because it'll demonstrate it a little bit more. Okay, so 9 times out of 10 so far, we've done a role or feature-based installation. But what we're going to do instead is choose a remote desktop services installation. This gives us a different workflow, a different set of options. So we're going to do remote desktop services, and then we're going to choose our deployment type. Essentially choosing our deployment. The deployment type will give us a few options. Whether we have a fully customizable deployment or quick deployment, which kind of creates things for us, or multi-point services. And then within that, once we make that choice, the next choice after that is to select our deployment scenario, either VM-based desktops or session-based desktops. So let's go back through that. And again, this is something I've demoed. So if things aren't quite clear, watch the demo as well, and they will become clear, hopefully. So instead of having an installation type and you pick your server and you pick your roles and you pick your features, blah, 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 the workflow itself has changed from installation type, deployment scenario. So we do a remote desktop services installation, and then we have our options. A standard deployment, which will give you the most choice. Also, you can deploy your remote desktop services across multiple servers. Say if you wanted to have one server for your virtualization hosts and another server for your web access, you could spread the load out. A quick start will take all of it and put it in one place, creates a collection, and will publish your remote desk apps. Your multi-point services will allow you to create stations for your multiple users, essentially creating, building an old-fashioned dumb terminal system. That's not what we want here. Now, what we're going to do in these labs with a standard deployment is make a lot of the same choices as you would see in a quick start. The difference is that with your standard deployment, you can co-locate everything, but you're not required to co-locate everything. With quick start, that choice is made for you. Everything is going to go in the same place. So our deployment scenario, we're going to choose the virtual machine-based desktop deployment as opposed to sessions and session-based desktops. So you're not using remote desktop services to connect your users to physical machines that say they already own, and a physical machine with a single OS installed on the bare metal. You're connecting them to VMs, which you can create on the fly. Now, we're gonna look at role services. You set up your connection broker, your web access, your virtualization host, and then confirm all of that. Now, we're going to see, so we're going to look at your role services window, which will show you which RDS roles are being installed. Like I said, you choose your connection broker. Which server is that going to be? Your web access, which server is that going to be? Your virtualization host, which server is that going to be? Now, in a large implementation, you may actually pick multiple servers for web access and virtualization. Virtualization, of course, will be actually hosting the VMs which you will provide through web access. Then go to your confirmation window. Now, selecting restart if required is a good idea because this thing will restart on you. This is going to take a little while. Give it 5 or 10 minutes at the very least. And then you go to your completion window. And then once that's going, you'll see, okay, so these are your role services. This is actually one of the things we talked about a minute ago. You'll see, it basically explains your remote desktop connection broker will connect or reconnect client devices to remote app, session-based, or virtual desktop. Your web access is the front end. Your virtualization is the compute resource. So far, so good. And you'll pick each of these off the list. There will be a window in each of these other in your connection broker, your web access, and your virtualization host. There will be a window. So you'll have a list of servers on the left, and a little arrow button with an arrow in it, and you click that and you move it over. And you'll make some other choices. All of this is illustrated in detail in the lab demo. Then you'll go down here to your confirmation, you click next, you click deploy, you're good. And then now let's see, and it will end up looking like this. So this graphic that we saw before is actually, you'll see that in here. You can see your servers, you can see your collections, we've already set up the deployment. We can add virtualization hosts. We can create desktop connections. All of this is obviously for a VM-based deployment rather than a session-based deployment. But you can see where everything is. And in the next video, we will talk about the connection broker, creating virtual desktops, and creating desktop pools. So thanks for watching, and we'll keep going.